similar, but at the same time not. Both very fun. About how they draft. What are the differences here between Brent and Omega?
I think there's only one difference between these two teams. It's just the banner. If you remember, nasabi natin kanina, lahat to, karamihan sa kanila Seaball. And they were under the banner of Coach Dale when he was drafting for SEA Games, no? So the identity and the idea for the game, it's there. Everything is under the same umbrella. Siguro may difference lang with a little touch of Coach Ducky and Coach Leathergoods from Brand Esports, pero everything is essentially the same for both of these teams. Ito yung dalawang pinaka-similar na team talaga.
Yeah, they can't be that similar, really. Like, are they really just?
Siguro, preferences na lang. Kunwari, Omega, gigising sila, gusto nila ng pagkain na may sabaw ngayon. Parang ganon. Pero technically, they have the same taste. They play the same way. Yung drafting pattern yung pattern. Alam mo yung parang pipili itong team na to ng hero na to kasi gusto nila na naka-counter nito yung potentially na susunod na pipiliin. And they do that against any other teams. And I'm sure, pag in-explain ko kasi ng matagal, umubos na tayo oras. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, yung ganong klaseng drafting pattern makikita mo sa kanilang dalawa.
Yeah. The drafting patterns, how they roam. The more I think about it, the more really it's a mirror match. And no wonder these two teams have such a rich history with one another. We've already talked about their connections. Now let's look at the numbers and the data. See what the head-to-head tells us. Average KDA, Omega is in the lead, but only by just a bit. That is roughly a 0.4 difference. Not that much. Match win rate, of course, we all know. Bren, number 1 at the end of the regular season. First blood counts, though, still. Once again, more onto Omega. Average team net worth difference. Midnight, this is always your favorite thing to talk about once you see the head-to-heads.
Yeah, actually medyo dito natin makikita yung disparity. May nilabas na analysis si Coach Arcadia kanina, which I believe perfectly describes this matchup. Omega is a methodical team. This is a team that plays under a system. So if you are playing under a system, you don't go for plays that other teams naturally go to. Like for example, Bren, they really like grouping up in the early game. Some drafts cannot do that, but it's the nature of Bren. It's their identity. Yan yung ano talaga eh. Yun yung pinapakita ng coach sa kanila eh. Ito yung identity ng Bren. And sometimes it works kasi there are natural matchups that sinks into it. So the idea is Omega plays this systematic approach to the game while Brent sticks to their identity. And their identity is to naturally, gauge their opponents in the early game, and the result is they're a better team. Naturally, they're gonna get more gold compared to the opposing team.
Yeah, and good thing you brought up the post of Coach Arcadia there where, he said these are two very fundamental teams. But when it comes to Omega and Bren, it seems like the difference is that Bren is a little bit more flashy. But before I pass on that question to you, Ocho Gahaba, turtle control rate, Lord per game, unique hero picks, they're all so close. This is a mirror match, but go back to what Coach Arcadia said. Bren seems to like the kills a little bit more over Omega.
Kita rin kasi natin sa Bren Esports. Siguro sabihin na natin kaya lang nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa stats na nakikita natin ngayon ay dahil mas marami lang panalo yung Bren. And if you look at this matchup, iba yung priority nila compared sa mga teams na wala ngayon sa Grand Finals, honestly. Like Bren Esports, sabihin na natin, ang basic na understanding is mas inuuna nila yung objectives over kills. But that's just scratching the surface. In fact, ang ginagawa ng pares sa teams na to ay gumagawa sila ng mga little plays, little by little, para mag-lead up na makukuha nila yung objectives na yun. And kasama na yun, mixture na yun ng either magpo-poke lang sila, kahit yung bawasan lang nila yung kalaban, or mag-force lang sila ng retribution instantly. Makikita mo yung Bren Esports, nagko-communicate na sila, pati na rin yung Mega. Instantly yung communication nila na mag-move forward sila to do some other stuff, like get the turrets or get the turtle. Kaya amazing makita tong dalawang team na to. And I cannot blame people who are saying na methodical at systematic ang approach ng pares sa teams. Kasi ganun talaga sila.
Fundamental down to the team. Now, we've been looking at it in the macro perspective, looking at it from the team wide look. But pag maghahanap tayo ng isang matchup na dapat tignan talaga natin, ano dapat tignan natin?
If we look at all
Kulang yata
five,
isa eh, no?
parehas eh. Again, ito yung problema mo sa teams eh. You've seen it on the stats. The stat sheet pa lang eh. Marami magsasabi na bakit ba may comparison between Bren and Omega. If you look at the stats, they're so damn close. Ganun kadikit itong team na to. And you can't separate two players to compare them. Kasi if you look at the hero pool, parehas sa parehas. Side lane sa pinagkaiba lang nila, Bren prioritize Uranus, while Omega prioritized Tamus. Even the Yuzongs are highly contested on this matchup. And I think the most noticeable difference between these two teams is yung funnel. Si Haji and Cartesi, this is the comparison of the century. Itong dalawang bata to is touted as two of the best funnel carries in the Philippines. They used two different heroes. Bren prioritizes Lancelot over the Ling, while Omega prioritizes Ling over the Lancelot.
Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina na parang mas gusto ng may sabaw nitong team na to at yung isa naman mas gusto yung tuyo, the fried. Because it's literally just preferences na. Ganun sila ka-close. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na mas maganda yung ginagawa ng isang team over the other. I remember back then na-mention din ni Coach Midnight na ang si Cartesi versus Hajizi, nagkaroon ng time na magkasama sila sa isang team.
Yeah.
Tapos parang may time na pinasok si Hajizi, tapos natalo. Tapos nung pinasok bigla si Cartesi bilang 6-man, same hero, nanalo. Parang yung sinasabi ng mga viewers, ala, no Cartesi, no win. And right now, Hajizi in MPL Season 6 has the best performance when it comes to KDA. Diba? Yung performance niya just phenomenal. And he already proved na, no, hindi ibig sabihin na walang Cartesi, hindi na sila mananalo.
Yeah. Speaking of walang nalo, let's look at the match history here. Season 4 regular season, Omega 2-1 to Bren. Season 5 regular season, Omega Bren 2-0. And of course, nakita natin the first series loss ng Bren Esports this season, Omega Bren 2-0. And I'm surprised by this.
That's the
honestly,
guy.
like looking back at it, like I've been following the MPL since season 3, and then looking back at like really since season 4, Bren just has not won against Omega. Is it since that's someone who used to be a coach?
There was one match na 2-0 ng Bren yung Omega. That was their first affair. Interestingly kasi pares silang 2-0 isa't isa. So alam mo yun, you can't put a finger on who is definitely the advantageous team here. The advantage for Omega is that they played that on the next batch.
And now here are the keys to victory. Yeah, still pretty much really similar to the keys to victory when you're playing Bren. Omega. Force Cartesi into the marksman. Protect the purple buff. Group up when timings hit. Limit Flap TZ's hero pool, something that I want to really touch on here, and contest the Selena. These are two teams that have amazing Selena players.
Yep.
Hindi ako, I won't be so surprised here kung hindi natin makikita Selena all throughout. It'll just be constantly banned.
You know what's funny? The keys to victory for Omega is what Bren naturally does. So if you look about it, if you look into the playstyle, what Omega should do to win against Bren is make Bren punish their own playstyle. Like think of playing like Bren. Kasi mahihirapan si Bren eh. Okay, ginagawa ng Omega yung ginagawa nila. So that means this is just how similar they are. Ang kailangan lang gawin ng Omega is gawin yung ginagawa ng Bren. Kasi si Haji lagi nawawalan ng purple buff. Pero that was the storyline of Bren last season. Si Cartesi lagi nawawalan ng purple buff. The difference is si Bren mas group up siya, mas nag-group up siya, and they try to protect the Cartesi. Ganda nga nung analogy, they protect the king, 'di ba? Sa Omega, they do it differently. The way they protect their king is by doing aggressive maneuvers like invade with a jawhead, Hilda. So if you're fighting against Bren, you should do the same thing. Kopya mo yung ginagawa ng Bren kasi baliktad talaga kayo na playstyle.
Again, even with the keys to victory, it's gonna be a mirror. Prioritize Cartesi in the draft para sa Bren Esports. Draft better comps. Watch out for Heath and Toshi. Now, that is definitely one of the cornerstones para sa Omega. Prepare for the draft flex of Dale and contest the Selena again para sa Bren Esports.
Yeah, definitely agree with this. Although, masasabi ko lang yung draft better compositions at yung prepare for draft flex of Dale. This goes hand in hand. Dapat sabay ito para sa Bren. Kasi una, yung preparation nila sa flex draft ni Dale, kailangan hindi sila mag-overreact in a way na papangit yung composition nila.
Yeah.
The main problem why teams lose to Omega is nag-overreact sila sa mga cheeky picks or pocket picks ng Omega. At biglang nagugulo na yung kanilang composition. Kina-counter mo yung isang hero, number 1 na ginagawa ng Omega, pati rin ng Bren, yung third pick nila or yung fourth pick pag red side sila or third pick kapag blue side, ginagawa nila na parang kakaiba in a way na gustong-gusto mong kontrahin yun. Tapos in the end, mabababoy na yung composition mo.
Yeah.
Kaya kanila ipapunish. So, number 2 and number 4, keys to victory, they have to go hand in hand. Hindi ka pwedeng, kailangan mo mag-react, but at the same time, don't overreact.
Yeah. And that's going to be so hard to do here because we've seen so many, countless of drafts where teams have fallen into the trap here. Let's see if Coach Dale and Coach Ducky have they prepared these boys well enough? Have they prepared their drafts enough? Once again, ito na nga, Grand Finals ng MPL Philippines Season 6 Battle of Brothers. The reunification or the reunitement, I'm forgetting my words, but the reunion, there we go. It's a reunion of the gold medal boys of that Cebu team. Even people who, or players who have been together under the same banner. This is the Grand Finals. This time, it's really close and it's really personal. Let's bring it now to our fans to see them cheer for our teams.
Hashtag Bren lang malakas. Suportang FPL. Bren lang malakas.
Bren lang malakas.
Hashtag Bren lang malakas.
Suportang MPL. Hashtag Bren lang malakas.
Laban Omega. Laban Omega nun. Good luck Omega. Hashtag Omega.
Go Omega, go Omega nun.
Hashtag Omega nun.
Go Omega, go Omega nun. Go Omega, good luck.
Laban Omega. Laban Omega nun.
Ito na ang simula ng panibagong kasaysayan na ating matutunghayan para sa MPL Season 6 Grand Finals. Bren Esports versus Omega. Kami ang inyong mga tagapagsalaysay ng laro. Ako si Manjin Paldas at kasama ko ngayon si Rob Luna. Magandang gabi, Rob Luna.
Maganda talaga yung gabi. Medyo yung kanina kung nag-appetizer tayo, this gonna be the main course na ating pinag-uusapan kanina over doon sa unang series.
At yung appetizer natin kanina ay umabot hanggang 5 games.
Oo.
Ngayon naman, for the first time in forever, for the first time in forever,
Naipasok mo pa yun?
naipasok pa natin yon dahil best of 7
Yes.
ang mangyayaring laban, or pwede pa ata nating tawaging best of the best.
I think best of the best. Kasi sabi mo nga, this gonna be the history na mangyayari. Bagong libro na bubuksan para dito sa MPL Season 6. Unang best of 7, maaabot nga kaya natin yung pinakadulo.
At hindi malayo, naabot tayo doon. So, makto pa naman, linggo ng gabi, alas 8, prime time na prime time, lahat ay nakatutok ngayon sa mga smartphones nila, sa mga screens ng monitor ng mga PCs nila, at maging sa mga smart TVs nila. This is it. Bren Esports, number 1 sa Group B. Actually, ka-group din nila ang Omega, at eto na. Sinabi ng mga panelists natin na halos parehas ang stats nitong dalawang magkagrupo na Toro Luna. Pero sa tingin ko, mamaya na natin pag-usapan yung stats dahil gusto kong malaman sa'yo ang ating narrative para dito sa game na to. Gold medalist matchup. Who would have thought ang mga teams from Cebol
Ang
mapapasok dito?
Oo, ang magtatapat-tapat. Sa mga hindi nakakaalam, that was Kenji and Hayes dito sa Omega. Meanwhile naman sa kasama rin pala si Coach Jay.
Dale.
Oo, so tatlo from Omega, and on the other hand, nandito nakita nyo, that was Ribo, Fiu, Losty, and Carl TC.
Eto na nga, labanan. Pati
Jay.
si Ribo.
Yeah,
And si Jay ay
Jay.
nasa Onyx
Nasa
kanina
Onyx,
na
yes.
umabot sa fourth. Pero still, di ba, props sa lahat ng teams na sumali. Here we go, wag na natin patagalin, Rob. Ano ang nakahain ngayon sa ating main dish pagdating sa draft? Side lane bans para sa Omega. Meanwhile, side lane at isang support para sa Bren.
Parang kung kahapon, yung nakalaban ng Bren, that was Onyx, right?
Oo.
They were targeting specific player. That was Carl TC na tinatanggalan nila ng hero on their bans. Meanwhile, dito sa Omega, just hayaan mo na.
Oo.
Bigay mo na kasi given naman that Carl TC would perform kahit ano pa ibigay mo sa kanya. Let's just target the side lanes dito ng Bren Esport. Kaya nga nung nakalagay kanina doon sa mga keys to win ng bawat team is that tanggalan or ilimit ang hero ni Flap TC.
Ni Flap TZ. Ang nakakalito kasi dito, ang daming easy.
Oo, actually
no?
both of them, mga
Oo.
TC brothers.
Mga TZ brothers, may Hajizi, may Kurt TZ, may, minsan pa nga si Toshi, nag-Toshi.
Minsan,
yan,
oo.
Oo. May Carl TZ at Flap TZ. Alam mo kung sino na lang kulang?
Sino?
Si Las TZ.
TZ, oo.
Pero wala pa siyang Z sa pangalan niya.
Wala pa.
Oo.
Pero ito this is one part of the winning condition din kanina. Or rather, possible, was the Selena.
Oh.
So it looks like Omega are willing na ibigay dito sa Bren Esports ang Selena and so does the Barats.
Oo nga, alam mo, Rob Luna, mamaya natin pag-usapan yung Barats, no? Kasi gusto ko yung pinoint out mo dito, yung Selena pick. For a time sa MPL, no mga first few weeks ay nagkaroon tayo ng permaban para dito sa Selena. And I think naapektuhan nga itong lineup ng Omega. Kasi ever since na nakilala natin tong team na to, they really love to play with this specific side lane na to on the hands of Toshi, minsan nga kay Kurt Dizzy. And ngayon na bumalik na siya, nakikita natin na ito na yung priority. Ngayon, bibigyan kita ng konting history. Rob, unang beses na pumasok yung first 5-man ban, Bren Esports, nanalo sila ng 2-0 against Omega. Pero nung nagkaroon naman ng Project Next, Omega naman ang naka 2-0 sa Bren. Ano ngayon ang nadadalang momentum nito sa dalawa?
No? Complete ng pag-flip ng switch. Well, kaya nga nasabi ng mga panelists natin kanina, this is almost similar in terms of the, kumbaga, they know their strength. I mean, individually, almost similar on each role. Pero what I like about here is, ito rin yung kanina na pinag-usapan ng panel natin, no? Na parang ang pinipili nga ng Omega dito is they really heavily favored the Ling. Compare
talaga.
naman dito, the Lancelot. And this is a very safe pick for Bren Esports kasi posible na makansel. Di ba sabi rin nakalagay din doon kanina is i-force si Carl TC into playing marksman.
Actually, ito na, nakikita na natin, 100% win rate para sa Lancelot ni Carl TZ.
Yes.
Meanwhile, 66.7 para kay Hajizi. Again, parehas, well, Carl TZ, ang dami nilang panalo, given sa Bren. Pero yung 66.7 na win rate sa isang hero, ang taas na nun.
Mataas yun.
Diba?
Mataas yun.
Minsan nga, aging pa yan pag 55, pag 54 Pero 66, hindi basta-basta. And I like it. Espadahan, 2020 na naman ang makikita natin dito, Rob Luna. Move on tayo sa ating draft. Last 2 picks para dito sa dalawang teams. Ang hinihintay natin ay supports. Ano ang ay tank para sa Bren. Ano ang mga makikita natin? Oh!
That's gonna be a YZ. Alright. Well, there are a lot of tank na available dito for Bren Esports. The Natalia was already been left out na isa din sa padalas na pinipair ng Bren Esports to a Selena. And meron kasi silang specific na tank na parang almost ilan-ilan lang mga teams dito sa MPL ang gumagamit, which is the Tigreal. I'm still thinking if that's gonna be viable for them, but it might be too slow. Pero gusto ko muna makita dito kung ano yung magiging pick. Joe would be perfect din, to be honest, with Bren Esports. Pero yun na nga, nakuha dito ng Omega.
Gaano kahalaga itong Joe pick na to ngayon, Rob Luna? Parang Joe, napag-ganun ka
Yung Joe kasi dito would be the key for them to be able to lock down Carl TZ.
Oh, so talagang lock the child prodigy.
Yes.
Ito ang main idea. And now, ang kanilang final hero would be the Lunox. Umaper na si Coach Dale, Mr. Worldwide. Interesting dito yung labanan din ng coach, no?
Oo.
Lunox, last pick. 1 stun only para dito. I mean, 1 lockdown stun para dito sa side ng Omega. Enough ba to para mapatumba ang Bren Esports?
Okay, alright.
Okay.
That works.
Hayes, first time Lunox. All throughout the history, Rob Luna, anong nakikita natin dito?
Well, if we could see Omega dito, they might be slow sa early. Compared dito sa Bren Esports na since we see the Selena, alam naman natin few would be always active on the map. Regardless of what lane yan. Pero most of the time, yung dalawang to, Lusty and Few, would contest definitely dito yung buff ni Haji. Hindi niya makukuha yan ng mabilis. Tapos, this still gonna depends on how the Selena will be used. Kasi meron tayong ginagawa ng Omega kahapon na parang yung naka-ready na kagad, parang nililish na kagad yung purple buff doon sa funnel nila. Then meanwhile, even Heat was doing the same thing doon sa kanilang orange buff. But sometimes, Bren Esport doesn't do that. Kasi alam nila, there always a fact that Omega invades, probably cancel those traps on their side. Pero I was really leaning towards dito for the early game dito ng Bren Esports.
Oo, kasi again, iba pa rin yung nagagawa ng traps talaga na mabilis mong nakukuha yung mga jungle.
Yes.
Pero since nabanggit mo yung about sa rotation dito ng Omega na binibigyan na kagad si Carl TZ ng mabilis na jungle, can we expect Bren to do invades?
Yes.
Lalo na't meron silang Selena pick, lalo na't pwede ring Barat's pick, actually.
Yes.
Na mag-try din na pag nag-level 4, mag-invade na mag-invade.
Exactly. One of the strengths, or rather in the rotations na parte dito ng Bren, is that having the Selena, or rather few and Lusty, just do their thing na manggulo doon sa kalaban, while Carl TC, it just have space, time, para makapag-farm. Kasi you know that si Carl magpa-farm at magpa-farm talaga yun, and he actually knows kung kailan lang din siya talaga papasok. Pero ito na, mga kaibigan, let's go. Unang laban, Bren Esports versus Omega on the Grand Finals ng MPL Season 6.
Here we go. Shoot lahat ng sinabi ng mga panelists natin dito about sa Lancelot and Saling. It's the battle between the KDA machine and the child prodigy, Carl TZ. Sumundot na kaagad ng mga sundot. Dito, si JZ.
So, ito yun eh. Ito yung sinasabi natin dito. Look at Few dito. He doesn't do the list most of the time pagdating doon and just harass dito yung gitna. And that's gonna be the haste.
Grabe, no? Familiar names ang nakikita natin. This is nostalgic. Haze at saka Few na nasa grand finals ng MPL na nagchatsanian. Men, ako nostalgia na ako ngayon. Ang tagal nating hindi nakita to. And yung sinasabi mo dito na rotation, magkaiba nga. Look at this. Carl TZ, ngayon palang kukuha ng orange buff. Meanwhile, si Haji, papunta na sa turtle. Ay, sa purple, dalawa na yung buffs na nakuha niya.
Exactly.
Ay, hindi.
Actually,
Nawala.
hindi. Nakuha ni Few. It was actually binabantayan ng Selena pa kanina doon na kumukuha si Haji. That was the right moment. That was a flame shot.
Sumakto sa camera na walang purple buff si Haji. Kaya ngayon, Carl TZ level 4, ano ngayon ang mangyayari dito, Rob Luna? Kasi
mas mabilis ang magiging rotation dito ng Bren. Ito, at least dito sa early game, lalo na dito si Few na meron siya dito purple buff. Meanwhile, dito sa taas, mukhang makukuha pa nila Carl.
Okay.
Dito yung crap.
Alam dito ng Bren Esports na level 3 si GZ, so hindi sila papalag. Mukhang tama ka dito looking at the preparations and the battle spells right now. Flame shot ang meron si Few. Baka ayun yung ginamit niya, pero still pwede rin yung pana na pinang first blood na nila.
Posible yan. So, that's one of the reason talaga that Selena is highly contested in between these two teams.
Wag na wag.
Kitang-kita nyo naman, di ba? Or rather, kitang-kita naman natin na ganito ang galaw talaga ng team na to whenever they had the Selena. Look at how confident Carl TZ dito. Sinasandwich na nila si Carl TZ.
At Carl TZ trying to go out by using the shoot bow. Wala siyang madadodge. Arrow also coming in. Meanwhile, Lusty, may unting pagbawi naman ng Omega doon sa bandang gitna. Pero still, Rob Luna, yung sinasabi mo about the Selena pick, ilang beses natin to ina-emphasize, wag na wag mong ibibigay. Highly contested para dito sa dalawang teams.
Saka ano din eh, totally snowball din to for Carl TZ. He actually get the crab on top and as well as bottom. Tapos nagkaroon pa sila ng kill on Curtis. And kung nakita nyo doon sa baba, halos na-deplete na yung energy shield. That only means na Carl TC in terms of gold, itong nakikita nyo na lead ngayon na 2,000 gold. That was on Carl TC right now.
Wow, halos lahat ng kayamanan ngayon ay walang iba kundi na kay Carl TZ because of the space na binibigay ngayon ni Few and company. Kailangan ata mag-step up din na Mr. Fundamental dito na harangan itong flame shot, harangan yung arrows dahil pati si Ribo ay nandito na din. Eto na, kinagat pero lumipad sa ere si GZ. Pero still, nakuha na ni Carl TZ yung turtle. Ang daming TZ, hindi ko na alam kung sino ba yung totoong pangalan. Pero still, Bren Esports will take the space even though yung purple ay napunta pa rin kay Haji. Bren pa rin ang in control.
Yes, definitely in control. Napilitan gumamit ng Tempest of Blade doon si Haji C kasi dinito na siya para makancel yung purple buff niya. So kailangan i-burn doon ni Haji yung ulti niya. Wherein, nawalan sila tuloy ng offensive spells papasok. Ito pa, yung pana na naman ni Pew.
Oo nga. Actually, hindi ko nakita kung nakuha ba ni Haji yung
Nakuha
purple
niya.
niya. Nakuha niya, pero kung titignan mo yung levels dito, ang taas ng level ni Cartesi, 2 levels ahead of experience. Level 8 laban sa level 6. So, ibig sabihin yung labanan ng supports dito, it is clear na si Pew at si Lasty ang nananalo.
Oo, given na kuha rin kasi nila yung isang buff. Ito, look at this. The Hurricane Dance, ginamit pabalik dito si Hit on the base turret.
Oo nga, pero hindi na umabot yung proc ng tower dito, pero okay lang. Order Billions coming out of the Lunox Arrow. Naku po! Just like old times. Sabi ni Pew, na-miss mo ba yung pana ko, Hayes? Sabi ni Pew, hindi. Pero sige, sasaluin ko. At ngayon na, 4-1, Bren Esports, nag-re-recall na lang pabalik. Another beautiful pick-off para kay Pew.
Kitang-kita natin dito mga kaibigan na yung pana talaga, yung nagiging initiator dito for Bren Esports. It's like parang it's a go eh. Pag tumama yung pana, pero tignan natin dito on the Gillette. Instant replay. Ito yung Hurricane Dance na ginawa doon kay Hit. That's one of the reason na wala ng frontline ngayon dito ang Omega. They were awkward to use their spell. After ng Brilliance of Aura, doon tumama yung pana and eksaktong-eksakto sa Thorn Rose dito ni Cartesi.
Parang sinukat eh, no?
Oo.
Parang ginamitan ng protractor dito ni Pew yung pana niya doon sakto pagkalabas ng Order of Billions and mukhang nalulugi nga dito yung galaw ni Mr. Fundamental and the hate. Bakit? Dahil kasi yung vision na binibigay ng Brenny, iba talaga pag may Selena. Tama ba ako, Rob?
Exactly.
Oo.
Not only yung vision pati yung yung aggression din kasi nila dito. Tuloy-tuloy yung pag-snowball dito ng mga carry and everyone from the set of Bren Esports. May kunat pa rin naman dun si dropping that revitalize. Pero Curtis, kailangan mag-ingat dito.
Kaso kasi yung mga ganong revitalized na half health, parang Delix kasi nalalaman na ng Bren na wala ng mga battle spell yan and alam nila na pwede yung mag-back to the point na ayan na, libre na yung turtle na nakukuha.
Totoo. Sobrang linis ng galaw dito ng Bren Esports, at least on the early game. Now, we're going into the mid game, mga kaibigan. But this is a commanding lead. This is already 6,000 para sa Bren Esports.
But you don't count out Omega. Sometimes they can also do clutch movements. Lalo na pagdating ng mga late game, I think, Bren, unti-unti lang silang pumapasok sa Omega dito. Pero sa tingin ko, Rob Luna, meron pa rin ibubuga dahil may damage pa rin ang Cho, may damage pa rin ang Esmeralda, meron pa silang hit na ultimate. Ikaw na yung nagsabi nito kanina, mabagal ang Omega, ngayon,
Yes.
mas mabagal sila sa late game, pero paano pag, sa early game, pero paano pag nag-late game tayo?
Well, it's still conditional. Kasi if
Oo.
ever man, umabot tayo ng late game, tapos hindi pa rin nakapag-kuha dito ng mga items dito for the Omega. Actually, ang medyo nagda-drag down dito for Omega, technically their support.
Oo.
Kasi hindi masyado nakapag-gold. Look at that hit.
Oh.
Pinasok na naman dito ng Bren Esports. Ganito na sila ka-confident. Even with the tank, kayang-kaya na nilang i-penetrate dito on the Omega side.
Wala nang pakialam ang Bren sa nararamdaman ng Omega dito. Ganon na sila. Ka-unfazed. Meanwhile, Toshi dito ang pulado. Tinamaan ng blender ng palaka. Purify habang si GC ay mag-out na nga. Easy basag para sa Bren Esports sa gitna. Rebo and company pupunta na lang dito sa taas. Hinahunting ang KDA machine. JZ, yung pana, may iwasan niya. Pero, the doctor, Doc, what's good? Call your mama eh. Okay, JZ. Mambalicious, Mamba out.
Yes, Mamba out.
Oh!
Nga.
Grabe si Pew talaga.
Oo, binabantayan niya doon, ilagyan niya pa yung doon ng trap. Pero, this is what's happening right now for Omega. So, yung support nila dito, we're in on the, kulang eh. Supposedly, dapat ito yung magiging parang mas aggressive. Pagpatak ng level 4 niya, dapat kanina, they could be able to burst down. Pero kasi, the initiator that they only have, parang ganito. This
Yan
is
na.
gonna be their perfect pick-off. Pero, mapatay ba nila dito si Flat
Medyo delay ata ang pagpasok ni Ace dito. Ilang hits na lang. Yung Black Dragon hindi abot, pero nandito na. Hindi na mapipigilan ang pag-power spike ni Carl Tizzy. Napakalupit habang si Lashley ay tatalon. Walang turpit na mangyayari. Rob, sobrang linaw na.
Yes.
Na Bren Esports ang nakakalamang 8,000 gold lead, 8 minutes in, ikakalculate ko sa math,
Okay.
1K per minute. Ang galing ko.
1K per minute, lupit mo doon.
Oo.
Pero ang mas malupit dito is yung ginagawa ng Bren. Di pa sila nababasagan ni isang tore dito. Tapos kung iisipin nyo din, halos hindi nila makuha kung sino ba, paano ba tayo, ano ba dapat nating targetin, sino ba
Oo.
pwede nating i-burst down. Look at that, nakita natin dito, that was the perfect pick-up na pwede nilang magawa. Yes,
Kanina.
nakuha nila doon si Flap TC,
sorry, si Flap.
kapalit ng dalawang buhay nila at nakuha pa yun ni Carl.
Ang dami nilang ininvest
Yes.
na skills para lang makuha dito si Flap TZ. The Chaos Bolts, the kick. Rob, dito ata papasok yung sinabi mo na sana yung Lunox mas tumaas yung level para nakasabay sana sa rotation. Dahil ngayon, bitin yung damage ni Kuya Ace eh.
Totoo yan.
Oo,
Bukod
eh.
sa bitin, kumbaga in terms of the spells din, yung mga yung initiator kasi dito for Omega, yun yung medyo kinukulang talaga sila dito. Eh. Kumbaga if hindi ka na initiate na papasok dito at this point, pwede na siya i-burst down to anyone from Brand Esports. Now, sino ngayon yung pwedeng humarap sa kanila? Sino yung pwede nilang i-pick up? The perfect scenario is masipa nila si Carl TC, but that's gonna be hard. Probably pwede nilang kunin dito si Few or anything, pero syempre hindi ang isang Akai, hindi ang isang
Hindi
Balance.
talaga, oo.
And kung makikita nyo, sila, syempre yung magiging frontline at ganito ka-confident kayo ng Brand Esports to take down the first base turret
Dahil
ng
nilabas
Omega.
na dito ang Black Dragon. Masisipa nga ba dito si Carl TC dahil sila si umikot na. Naging Beyblade at si Heat nandoon sino ba kalaban niya doon sa bandang likod dahil wala nang kampi dito si Carl TC mag-isa. Hindi na pala kailangan ni Carl TC mga kampi niya dahil makakaligtas siya. At si Jeezy, where are you going? Sabi ni Flap. Galit na rin sila sa orange. 19 seconds left para sa Lord. Bren taking the mid lane turret inhibitor. 12-2.
Yes. So, what actually can Omega do to come back dito? There's one thing, probably, they could have a lucky steal dito on the Lord. Napakaganda na ginagawa ng Brand Esports dito. Sobrang disiplina. They could be able to try to be very aggressive dito for the side of Omega. Huwag nilang palabasin. Well, technically, yun nga yung kanilang ginagawa up until na kayang masolo. Or rather, kahit dalawang heroes nga lang, pwede pumunta doon sa Lord while the other are zoning the rest of the members dito ng Omega.
Zone is the key to victory. Ang hirap eh. Yung Bren kanina, nagwatak-watak na yung laban, Rob, pero bitin yung naging damage output ng Omega. Yun na sana yung pinakamagandang option. And yung arrows dito, unti-unting bumabalik kay Hayes.
Yes.
Yung season 2 na talagang tinitiran, binabalaan siya ng mga pana. Dito ni Pew, habang ayun na nga ang mga yung in-out ni Carl TZ, tinamaan na naman. At mukhang pwede na natin isigaw. Game number 1. Ilista nyo na sa tindahan. Brand Esports ang makakakuha.
Pero hindi pa tapos, pero mukhang yun na rin naman yun. Didikit naman na dito yung mga minion wave dito for the Brand Esports. Ang ganda na kanilang panimula. Naubos halos lahat dito ang Omega. They have to reset on this game. And mukha ngang Manjin, ang Selena, ang isa sa mga pwedeng maging susi ng Brand Esports to take this Grand Finals.
What a showing para sa Brand Esports. Ang bilis nun, Rob.
Yes.
Ang bilis eh, parang nung natalo lang doon sa early na kuha ni Hajizi ng purple,
Oo.
parang nagtuloy-tuloy na eh.
Oo, hindi na nahinto. Kasi kung iisipin mo, Omega, they have this slow draft. Given that medyo malilate din talaga yung Lunox na mag-level 4 or probably siya yung may iwan doon sa gitna. Pero given na nakuha doon, that was the steal coming from Few. Getting the purple buff of Haji, medyo bumagal siya sa pag-ikot, papunta sa kanyang mga ano. Then suddenly, hindi rin makagalaw dito si Hayes sa gitna.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, all throughout
All throughout no? Talagang buhay na buhay si Few.
Yes,
And
Few.
ang
Definitely.
tanong dito, Rob, kagaya ng sinabi mo, makakita pa ba tayo ng Selena game number 2?
I don't think so.
Malalaman natin yan, syempre kasama ang ating resident analyst, Wolf. Ikaw naman.
Maraming salamat, casters. Kung tatanungin, wag na talagang ibigay. That game was definitely won by few at the expectant paunti-unti sa game na to. My name is Wolf, your analyst. We're gonna be talking about Game 1 of the Grand Finals of MPLPH Season 6. Tignan muna natin ang draft. And I would say, this game is weird for me when it comes to viewing it. Kasi ng Omega parang binigay nila yung mga gustong heroes ng Bren Esports. Siguro naisipin dito nila Coach Dale na napaghandaan nila. Unfortunately, it seemed like that's not the case. Let's just say na kinuha na Omega yung Ling na paborito nila kay Hadjizi. Pero binigay din nila yung Lancelot na, if I'm not mistaken, is 12-0 leading up to this point. So 13-0 na si Carl TZ with this Lancelot all throughout MPLPH Season 6. And looking at the heroes of Omega, there's not much when it comes to counters. In fact, kung ako tatanungin on my personal taste, there's really no catch on the side of Omega. Sabihin na natin merong Cho, merong Baksha, Yav Lunox na pwedeng mag-ultimate, but hindi nila nahuli si Lancelot at wala silang chance at all na mahuli si Carl TZ sa game na to. And looking at the heroes of Bren Esports, meron silang Serena na nagulo talaga yung lineup ng Omega because of the fact he was able to steal or at least contest yung buff, which we will talk about later. For now, why don't we look at the stats of the players, and overwhelmingly Carl TZ dealt so much damage in this game, 57,000 at 0 deaths yan. Siguro eventually makakuha tayo ng damage dealt per death, and I'm sure that it's either Carl TZ or Hadjizi who's leading when it comes to that point. By the way, Bren Esports ay nasa kanila din yung mga top damage dealers sa buong liga. That's Few as well as Ribo. In fact, Ribo ngayong playoffs, umabot na till playoffs, may time na mas mataas yung KDA niya over Carl TZ. That's why you know that this team, Bren Esports, are really dominant throughout the whole season. Now let's look at the highlights of this game. Doon natin makikita unti-unti. Hopefully meron tayong highlight nung unang play na ginawa ni Few, but unfortunately hindi na. So I just want to take note na itong lead na meron si Carl TZ at this point, if we compare both of the cores, mas mayaman talaga nang hindi hamak si Carl TZ. Carl TZ is level 5 at this point, Hadjizi is just level 4. There was a play nung unang-unang purple buff take ng Omega doon kay Ling na nanakaw ni Few. Off-cam actually nangyari na yun, but nung tinutok sa kanya yung camera, may buff si Few. Si Hadjizi wala. And this was because of probably an arrow na tama yung timing. O kaya flame shot, kasi naka-flame shot dito si Few, which by the way is very crucial in many parts of this game. Yung early lead na nakuha ng Bren Esports, hindi nila binitawan, at dahil nga walang hard catch on the Lancelot, ni Carl TZ, bukod sa malupit yung kanyang galawan, na hindi rin siya mahuli nung kanyang mga kalaban. Also take note, this is a play from Carl TZ as well as Hayes na masyadong matagal. Look at Lancelot. Nandun pa siya sa may river, pero dahil nag-gunsplay siya, Flap TZ tried to survive here. Lancelot will take this as a 2-for-1. Tapos siya pa yung core, kaya hindi na rin talaga napigilan. While phenomenal ang ginawa dito ni Few, you have to take note, Lusty as well on this Akai is one of the better performances na nakita natin sa Akai. And Bren Esports din, sa kanilang iba pang mga members like Ribo and this Barretts was incredibly hard for Omega para mag-defend. And actually, yung mga last clashes na makikita ninyo dito is just a result na lang ng economy na meron ng Bren Esports. There's really no way for Omega na manalo na dun sa part na to ng game dahil sobrang yaman na ng Bren Esports at sobrang komportable na nila. So I think that in this particular game, the Carl TZ Lancelot, the undefeated, the unkillable Carl TZ, 906 Child Prodigy, nagpapakitang kills naman. But I would say, for Omega, if you're a fan of Omega, man, hindi mo pwede talagang ibigay yung Lancelot or yung Selena, lalong-lalo na pag magkasama laban sa Bren Esports. And maybe that is gonna be the lesson for Omega come game number 2. If you are here to support Bren Esports, nako, I'm sure na sobrang saya mo sa nangyayari. And if you do, scan this QR code. Samantala naman sa mga gustong magpwersa pa ng marami pang games all throughout, I'm sure that you want to support Omega at this point. Scan this QR code. At syempre, gusto namin makarinig from you guys, lalong na sa pag-elevate ng ating scene dito sa Pilipinas when it comes to Mobile Legends. Just visit fb.com/mplph.official or scan the QR code para makatulong ka. We also would love to hear from you guys, and that will be perfect dito sa pag-fill in nyo ng survey through this QR code, or the next QR code. Meron din kayong pwedeng mapanalunan na rewards dyan. So we do hope that you participate. And if you love what you're seeing dito sa MPL Grand Finals, just like to remind everyone na marami tayong mga giveaway codes for you guys. And actually, balita ko meron din tayong idodraw ngayong mismo. So I know that you've been waiting for this. The mythical raffle draw, legendary draw this time in 3, 2, 1. Yun! Congratulations sa mga nanalo ng Magic Dust tickets, Hero Fragments, Premium Skin Fragments. Congratulations to you guys. We will have another draw. So sana ay nanonood kayo hanggang sa dulo. Pati na rin dito sa mga analysis segment natin dahil dito natin ilalabas yung mga mythical raffle draw at as well as mga giveaway codes na ipapakita natin. So congratulations to you guys. That has been game number 1 pa lang naman ng ating best of 5 series. At after the game, during this segment, sa analysis segment, meron tayong mga giveaway codes na ibibigay para sa inyo. So I encourage everyone at lalo na dun sa mga hindi pa nakakalam na manood kayo until this point dahil lagi tayong may 3 giveaway codes. And I'm sure that if you want more codes and more fun and entertainment tonight in Championship Sunday, syempre, i-wish nyo na mas marami pa tayong games na mapapanood for more chances of winning. But that was game number 1. A very dominant performance mula sa Bren Esports. Madaming nag-predict na Bren Esports ang mananalo nito. But ang dami ring naniniwala sa Omega. My name is Wolf, and I'm gonna be turning it back to the casters to see if game number 2 will be in favor of Omega this time.
Sa totoo lang, Wolf, napakahirap sagutin, no, Rob Luna, kasi mukhang sa draft battle na naganap kay Coach Ducky and kay Mr. Worldwide Dale, pwede nating sabihin na 1-0 para kay Coach Ducky. Dahil, Rob, kanina may sinasabi ka about dun sa trinap ata si Hayes.
Parang naiwan si Hayes into such awkward position in terms of the drafting eh. Kumbaga kung mapapansin mo doon sa mga last 3 draft, actually nung Bren kanina, that was the Farsa, the Valier. I just forgot the last band. I think it was a Chango somewhere. Basta tinarget na nila sa huli yung mga heroes dito ni Hayes. Kasi it's gonna put them on an awkward position. Yes, meron si Hayes dito, like sometimes he uses the Natalia, pero iba kasi yung tank nila noon, it wasn't the Basha. So parang ang nangyari, naging parang ano lang sila, reactive. Naghihintay lang sila kung ano yung ibabato sa kanila ng Bren Esports. But Omega, hindi ito yung first time nila na nagkaganito, na parang naunahan sila bigla. On the very first day dito sa atin sa playoffs, it happened to them during Signal Ultras game, and somehow they come back strong.
At gusto ko yung pinunto mo dyan na ganun yung characteristics ng Omega, no? Pag Coach Dale, nakikita natin siya since season 1, even though kahit natatalo sila ng game number 1, they know na ito yung kulang sa draft nila, and i-adjust nila to.
Yes.
And excited ako makita to sa game 2. And yung pinanggit mo about doon sa mas pinili na lang talaga nila yung Lunox kaysa mag-Natalia nga dito. Kasi at least, meron pa silang late game insurance.
Yes.
Diba? At least, parang pinili na lang nila yung parang better option na less worse. Parang ganon. Tama ba? Nag-make sense ba?
It actually makes sense. Pero one thing about that, actually, I'm seeing how the draft works eh. Pero kasi, from the moment na nawala ng purple buff doon si Haji, giving the purple buff on the Selena, we're in a normal, yung mga core na Selena, they really would like to have a purple buff eh. Pero that was a support. So meaning to say, it's like having 2 cores already during the early game. You have this. So ngayon, na libre si Carl to be able to finish his own jungle
to
while
roam,
nagro-roam ang Selena.
Yeah,
diba?
oo nga.
Yun yung nangyari. So, that's one reason kung bakit si Current Easy nagkaroon din ng awkward spot doon sa bottom
baba.
lane. Kasi nadadalawan na siya kagad.
Yeah, kumbaga na-trap lahat. And si Toshi, hindi rin niya napanalo yung top lane eh. Diba? It is clear na, actually kung hindi niya man napanalo, natabla ni Ribo. Yung top lane. Kasi again, one of the characteristics ng hero ni Ribo, yung Barats, mataas ang wave clear eh. No, akala mo lang wala, pero pag kinombo niya yung missile expert with so-called teamwork, yung Dura, yung Dura nung Titona, hindi
Yes. Mabilis naman.
mabilis yung wave clear.
Mabilis yung wave clear. So, now, again guys, we have to think of, ano nga ba yung magiging reset dito ng Omega? Ay, sabi ko kanina, tanong mo pala sa akin kanina kung makikita pa ba natin dito yung Selena. I think pwede, pero this might the time na baka yung Omega naman ang
gumamit.
gumamit or if Bren would like to ban it out against. Kasi kaya nga nang sabi nung panel natin kanina is that both of these teams, di naman heavily relying on the Selena, but whenever they get hands on the Selena, most of the time they win the game.
Heavily contested.
Yes.
Yun yung parang nasa taas ng listahan na hero.
Yes.
Na, anong mga familiar heroes natin? Ito po, Selena. Ganon. Let's see. Dahil mukhang Joe ang priority pa ng Bren, let's see kung ibibigay nila itong Selena sa Omega or ibaban na ba to ng Omega.
I think we have almost the same, the blue side din kanina, no?
Red ang Bren kanina.
Red ang Bren, alright. So, now, Bren Esports.
Alice. Kahapon pa ayaw ng Bren Esports dito sa Alice.
Even against Onyx PH.
Oo, kasi Onyx PH and Omega, both of them utilizes the Alice. Alam nila kung paano laruin talaga to. At isa si Toshi dyan.
Totoo yan. So, now, Omega, they're trying to figure out if they are willing to open the Selena again dito for Bren Esports. I think it's still workable if Bren could be able to get the Selena, but they have to work on their support. Kasi they don't want to be reactive. Nakita naman natin kung how Bren Esports take control. Whenever they have, kumbaga kung you don't want to be in a position na counter-puncher para sa Bren. Gusto mo ikaw yung unang sumusunto. Kasi whenever you're a counter-puncher, you're just waiting for them to attack first before you do your own.
Correct. Gusto ng Bren sila yung alpha.
Yes.
No? Yung malaging mag-uumpisa. And ngayon, sila na nga nag-umpisa raw. Alam mo bakit? Binana nila.
Oo.
Alam nila na pwedeng i-2 picks. I-priority Selena to sa 2 picks ng Omega. Sabi nila kami lang ang may karapatan na pwedeng gumamit niyan.
Totoo yan. But Omega here, respecting the Lancelot dito ni Carl TZ, they might try what the finals told us that put Carl TZ on an awkward heroes wherein hindi yun yung assassin, Lancelot or rather the Link. We've seen him play kahapon even against all odds na Harit, nag-perform pa rin. Pero at least, there is something different on his playstyle, but the Link will be the priority pick ngayon dito.
Kaso mukhang hindi awkward yan.
Hindi awkward talaga.
Kay Carl TZ, hindi awkward yan. Pag nawala yung Lancelot, alam na, parang okay, Link na yung next.
Totoo yan. Now, Omega is thinking if they are about to get their side lanes right now or probably get their support na ngayon na kumbaga kailangan nila ma-utilize yung dalawang, yung tank and support dito ng Omega. You would want to be on the position on what Bren yung kanina na ang nagdidikta ng tempo was few and lusty.
Yata, ito na ang panahon para ilabas ng Omega yung kanilang Triple H. Heat, Haze, at saka GZ. Kumbaga, mabigyan na lang ng space si GZ kasi kailangan tumapat ni Heat at saka ni Haze talaga.
Pero
kay Lusty at saka kay Few.
Totoo. Looks like Omega dito prioritizes both side lanes.
Pero naman.
I mean, the Esmeralda didn't work for them. It's all because of the snowball ng Bren Esports. But the Barretts was part of it. And now, Omega has the Barretts.
Sasabihin ko pa lang sana kaya ako nag-uuna. Parang kapag may Link madalas ang Bren, kukuha sila ng mga heroes na kayang pumalo up ng mabilis na damage.
Totoo yan.
At nandiyan ang Parsa. And tinapatan na rin sabi mo lang, Esmeralda, tinapatan bigla ng Tams.
Yes, I'm thinking right now if Omega would still go for the Basha dito.
Basha?
Oo. Kasi it's gonna be the reason why they had the Basha earlier, syempre of course para sa Esmeralda, pero it's still gonna work for the Tamos dito ng Bren Esports. Now, still thinking medyo secured dito somehow yung first 3 picks dito ng Bren Esports. They do have their carry, they do have this support that can be used even on late game, offensive, defensively. Farsa can do that. But it looks like they want to secure a hero. Roger, he had GC.
Yeah, I like the Roger pick dito, Rob Luna. Kasi for sure, in-expand dito ng Bren ang mga GC heroes. So yeah, I think both of the teams sa first 3 picks, okay, wala pang masyadong nire-reveal ngayon ang team ng Omega. Medyo safe ang dalawang side lanes na makukuha nila. Ngayon, ano pwedeng mga supports ni Hayes? Kanina siya yung naubusan.
We still have...
May Balir pa siya, may Chang'o pa siya.
I haven't seen Hayes use Kagura ever. Pero I was thinking
Kagura,
dito for Bren, to be honest, what's gonna be their tank? Or rather, other side lane. Yushong, probably, since that, kasi, pero hindi naman na kasi nila priority. They already know that the both side lanes here ng Omega. Pero it look like Omega's targeting here, heroes
Lusty.
dito ni Lusty.
Yeah, and mukhang si Hayes nga ang tinatarget dito
Ng Bren.
ng team ng Bren. Look at that Natalia ban. Napakaganda, especially against View. Sometimes against the Ling. Both of the teams taking their time on banning the last ban. Napaka-importante ng positioning ng bans dito, no?
Totoo yan, totoo yan.
Akay.
That's gonna be the Akai. Makes sense.
Okay.
Really makes sense. The Akai. Kumbaga, yun yung pang reset din sa kapampasok eh.
Oo.
Look at that, Valir is
Valir.
still gonna be down. I'm still thinking, Chang'o.
Chang'o.
Will Chang'o work here for Omega, or we could be able to see dito yung mga nakita natin ng mga supports earlier. That was the Eudora, or even yung Kadita dito that was being used by Bren Esports, or Chang'o, just to hold on lanes para hindi masyado mag-snowball. Pero I'm not really sure about the Chang'o dito, pero it might actually work, but they have to pick something here for a hit.
Kung magcha-Chang'o dito ang Omega para kay Hayes against View, pareha sila mataas ang wave clear, no?
Oo.
Pero aabot ba? Kasi again, wala na namang lockdown ng Omega eh. Oh, okay.
That is a hit hero indeed. Oh, this gonna be hard, honestly, for the side of Omega. They have to get something here. Most of the time, you see Hilda if there is like you have a support like Valir, yung mga offensive support.
Oo nga eh.
So I'm still thinking of what can it be for the side of Omega, kasi it's clearly that Omega want to be the one to set the tempo dito. Having the Hilda is something going, kumbaga mas malalim ka palagi. You're going to the brushes dito. That's gonna be one of their signature tags.
That's it.
That's the Tigreal. What's it gonna be for Hayes? Is it gonna be the Chang'o? Or will they pick?
Magbibigay ba sila ng bagong hero kay Hayes? Eudora is open. Kagura is open. Chang'o is open.
Yes, well, Chang'o might make sense. If they gonna be going for a Eudora dito, it's still gonna be awkward, honestly. Kumbaga, pag nanggulo si Hit, mahirap humabol para sa isang Eudora and just gonna stay on the mid lane.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, ang mangyayari lang is that si Hit yung iikot around the map and hindi siya ma-accompanyhan dito. That's gonna be the Chang'o.
Talaga.
Makes sense kasi mahirap gumamit ng Eudora on their lineup. Now, looking at the picks dito, Bren Esports has a perfect draft. Has a
Yeah.
perfect draft dito. They have their strong support. They have a very, very formidable side lanes. Tamus, Export, even going into late game. Crowd control, AoEs,
Lusty.
they do have it.
Yeah.
Now, what does Omega have? It's
Kunat.
sustain.
Yeah.
They have this sustain. They have the Roger. To be able to deal damage, probably. Mapasok si Few. Mapasok with the Lycan Pounds. Mapasok dito yung Link. Pero aside from that, if that misses, there are a lot of crowd controls na pwedeng ipato dito ng Bren Esport.
Yes.
Yung mismong
Yes.
ultimate ng Tigreal dito can just save it to Haji alone.
Yun pa lang sana ang gusto ko sabihin, Rob Luna eh. Ang taas ng sustain dito ng Omega nung nakita yung Hilda, quinig-pick yung X-Borg. And I think the X-Borg will burn dito sa kakunatan ng Hilda,
Yes.
ng Barats, the Burst, and even the Esmeralda. Hindi to pre-game para kay Toshi eh.
Totoo yan.
Kasi yung X-Borg at saka yung Tams, 50-50 matchup yan sa side lane against an Esmeralda eh.
Mhm. I agree with you. Pero I think Omega dito, their game style dito, their style on how they approach this match is that the Barats and the Hilda continuously na mag-invade. Oh, kumbaga yun yung purpose
dapat
na
yun.
to, yun
Oo.
yung kailangan nilang gawin just to hold on. They do already have the Chango, so meaning to say, hindi agad-agad mababasag yung gitna nila. He could be able to provide assistance dito sa pag-invade ng Barats or rather dito ng Hilda. Pero, if that didn't work, mahihirapan dito ngayon ang Omega.
Nag-agree ako sa Rob. It's all about Omega shutting down Carl Daisy. Ladies and gentlemen, Brand Esports is 3 games away para sa championship as Toshi will go to the XP lane, Kurt on the gold lane. Meanwhile, Ribo naman ang tatapat dito sa XP baba at Flap Daisy sa taas at ayan na, kitang-kita mo ang tapatan.
Yes.
Rob Luna, the sights bro! Yun talaga yung mahirap sa isang Tams at
Yes.
level 1. Pwede kanyang ngat-ngatin.
Totoo yun. It's just so lucky that Flap PC dito yung tipo na may execute na Tamos. Pero definitely on level 1, walang laban ng Barats over the Tamos.
Hirap talaga eh.
Oo.
Ano ba ang nile-level 1 ng Barats? Usually yung expert missiles, di ba?
Yes.
Oo.
Eh, actually, kailangan niya din yun para at least ma-move niya. Saka mas mabilis din siyang minion wave clearance. Di mo naman din aasahan na makapag-spam ka kagad ng so-called teamwork.
Oo eh. So, Curtis na puwersa dito mag-react to the point na may laban na magaganap. Dahil si Flap DC ay polado, hit, may mahihila siya dito. There you go, Toshi. Ang layo ng nilakbay ni
Ang
Toshi.
ganda. Ang
Para
ganda.
lang makuha yung 5-man clash as Carl Daisy will secure the purple. Kinuha lang dito ni Hit yung mga bubbles.
Totoo yan. They
Oo.
could have potentially get a lot doon kung nakuha pa nila yung purple buff doon ni Carl DC. That was a nice rotation coming from Omega. Nagsama-sama kagad sila doon. Siguro hindi rin yun in-expect ng Brand Esports that they will be fighting for 5-man agad-agad.
Biglang naging masipag si Kurt dito as pati rin naman si Ribo.
Totoo.
Nung pagka-wave clear, diretso agad sa bandang mid lane at dito mo nakikita yung sinasabi nating side lane matchups.
Yes.
Pero tignan naman natin ngayon dito, Rob, anong nangyayari sa mga support matchups natin dahil mukhang ang umaariba ay ang mga side laners.
Totoo yan. In terms of rotation, so now, Omega, di pa nila masyado na-utilize kung ano yung strength dito ng kanilang draft. Hit still needs to be very active dito. Put the support dito ng Brand Esports if you in an awkward position. Hindi niya ma-utilize yung ulti niya. Toshi here, it's like mukhang ano yung ano nila dito. Energy shield.
Sisira yung energy shield nila dito. Pero actually, Toshi will defend this. So wala pang nakakakuha dito ng gold para sa dalawang teams. Rob Luna,
We still have a mirror match right
Oo.
now. Pero I guess this is Brand Esports still winning. Kung mag-mirror lang sila up until the late game, Brand Esports could actually outscale the heroes dito ng Omega.
dahil mas marami silang options, no?
Mhm.
Yung Avaling, mas marami kayong crowd control, pero mas makunat din kasi ang Omega. So hindi mo pa rin masasabi sa talaga,
Totoo,
Rob, no? Pero
totoo yan.
yes, tama ka eh. Ako nag-agree ako na yung lane lineup, yung Marsa lineup, mas mabilis eh kesa sa Roger eh. So tignan natin ngayon kung aabot ba tayo sa ganyan dahil nakakatakot na itong Barrets na to na lumaki banda sa main turtle as Kurt Daisy will safeguard this turtle pit. GC and company nandito. Lastly, tignan natin. Kumuha siya ng charge. Implosion. Tatamaan dalawa. Dito ko na smell cup. Sino ang kinagat? Sino ang iluluwa? Huli kayo! Carl Dizzy sa wakas nakuha ng Omega. At ayan na! Kinakalmot-kalmot na sila! Di HJZ, apat ang nawala sa side ng Brand.
Wow, that was a good performance coming from Haji. Alam mo yun, they had a complete box out to all sa may turtle and nakuha yun ni Carl DC. But, on the right moment, kumpleto rin sila doon eh. Medyo na-burn out yung mga spells nila just right after nun pagkuha ng turtle. And rather than Haji using the Lycan bounce on the squishy heroes dito ng Brand Esports, at triple kill, malaki ang mabuboost nito sa Omega.
Ang ganda na naman ang positioning ni AJZ doon
Totoo.
no, sa laban na yon. And sabi ng Omega dito, ayan na, pinapainit lang namin ang laban. Ang init, Rob!
Mainit talaga.
Hindi ko malaman.
Now, here on the Gillette, instant replay. Ito yung nangyari doon sa may turtle. Look at how close ni Omega dito, mga kaibigan. Kumbaga na micro nila. Look at HGC. just going into the backlanes dito ng buong Bren Esports, even Ribo, napasok pa siya doon sa loob ng Torre.
At saka ang kinagat ay walang iba kundi ang Link. Actually, hindi yata natin to napansin, Rob, na usually pag nakikita tayong Link, di ba, hinahanapan natin ng mga lockdown heroes.
Totoo.
Eto, meron dito, ang Omega, Detona's welcome.
Not only the Detona's welcome, the Lycan pounds can be just directly. Pwede mo nakatakin kagad kahit saan pa pumunta, kahit maglikot pa. Yung Link, ay diretso talaga doon. Basta ito nasa range.
At eto na, here comes the burn. Para kay Hayes.
Maganda na ngayon ang posisyon dito ng Omega. Yes, they have the 3,000 lead, pero kasi ang pinakamaganda for them, nakakaikot palalo dito yung mga sided thanks to the vision na pinoprovide sa kanila ngayon dito ni Kid.
Yep, galit na si Mr. Fundamental dito. The Wind Talker is also up for Hajizi, Mr. KDA Machine. 5-0-1. Pwede nila ituloy-tuloy. Gusto ko rin yung binanggit mo dito kanina, no, natutulong talaga si Kurt.
Yes.
Kahit anong mangyari, si Heat at si Kurt ang magsasama para mag-invade ng jungle, and then sa likod lang si Hayes.
Yes, definitely. Pero ito na, mukhang confident na ngayon dito ang Omega. They want to punish dito Carl TZ. Ngayon, mahihirapan na makakuha ngayon dito ng buff ang Bren Esports. Kayang i-lockdown ito ng Omega right now.
Oo, no? Alam na alam. Tingnan mo yung item ngayon ni Carl TZ. Chop Suey. Hindi pa niya nabubuo dito yung Azure Blade. Gusto nila sana mag-axe. Para sa para sa kanyang endless battle. So medyo nabibitin yung pag-farm niya dito, Rob Luna.
Yes, bitin talaga. But look at that, how tanky that Detona's welcome. Grabe yung barracks dito, mga kaibigan. Siya lang talaga nag-absorb dito ng mga binabatong damage coming from Bren Esports.
At walang nakuwang purple buff ang Bren Esports.
I think Carl TC already realizes na hindi niya na makukontest sa ngayon. Yung just go for a side lane push. Ibahin muna natin yung strategy natin and let Omega react.
Okay, kumbaga tagtaas kamay na eh. Sabi nila, wag na, bigyan nyo na yan. Kakuha na lang tayo ng iba. And actually, yun yung isa sa mga magagandang characteristics ng Bren eh. They know kung kailan sila lugi, alam nila kung kailan mag-disperse. Pero ngayon, Omega, isa naman sa mga characteristics nila, alam nila kung kailan sila lamang. Diba? Hindi naman basta-basta nagpapasindak itong hero na to eh.
Totoo yan.
Ay, itong team na to eh.
Totoo yan. Not only that, alam nila na nag-bleed ngayon dito ang Bren Esports, and what is the good way para mas lalong mag-bleed dito is lalong add insult to the injury para sa kanila. Pasukin nyo ng pasukin, pahirapan natin sila ng pahirapan.
Kumbaga, yung Omega, alam nilang may sugat na yung Bren. Ang ginagawa nila, nilalagyan nila ng kalamansi.
Para mas masakit.
Para humabdi. At hindi ka makakatulog noon.
Totoo yan. Pero ito speaking of tulog, Bren Esports dito, they're on the back end. Mukhang magkakaroon na naman dito, probably an uncontested turtle. Looks like Carl TC doesn't really want to go into the turtle pit right now. Medyo haji nagsisnowball siya dito. We're just on the mid-game.
Grabe.
Pero he's already on the 501 KPA. Kaibigan,
Rob
Opensa, galing sa Omega.
Opensa talaga. At tiray mo pa, kinagat na, kakagat na. Niluwa si Lasty dito. Ayaw niya daw ng lasa. Habang Lasty, ang ganda ng implosion. Pero, nasaan yung damage output? Wala. Omega, tuloy-tuloy ang pambubusabos. Kurt Easy papasok pa rin. Buhay pa rin siya. Flap, Daisy, sinubukan niya ang kanyang pinakamalupit na pagsligtas. Pero Omega pa rin ang nanaig dito sa bottom lane. Nandito na rin si Toshi. Ayan na nga, pinapaulan ng mga tela. Omega will get the bottom tower.
Yes, and look at that. Just right. Pag-respawn doon ng Purple Buff, kuha kagad dito for the side of Omega.
Grabe,
so
no?
that just only mean, pero tignan muna natin dito, the Gillette instant replay. Look at how Kurt TC, he's the one, and as well with Heat, yung nagsusone out for the rest dito ng Bren Esports. Wala na nga silang pakialam dito sa inner turret sa baba ng Bren Esports. That's sobrang tanky nung front lines nila dito. They just have to absorb everything and go into the back lanes dito ng Bren Esports.
Parang unti-unti ng Omega itong game, Rob Luna.
Yes.
Tama yung sinabi mo doon after that Gillette instant replay.
Pero take note
Oo.
the heroes dito for Bren Esports are also strong in terms of defending. They have the Farsa. Pagka nagkamali ng pasok, lalo na sa base turret ang Omega, there is still the implosion from Lusty. So, there is something, kasi given na may export sila, time and time dito sa MPL Season 6, we've seen a lot of epic comebacks just by the export.
Pwede tayong oo, dahil ang taas ng wave clear talaga ng Brent Esports. And if I'm not mistaken, two of the most irritating heroes na hindi mo matatapos kagad yung game, Parsa at saka X-Bolt.
Definitely.
Dahil ang daya kasi ng mga ulti niyan parang hindi cool, parang yung ulti nila hindi cooldown ng pang-ulti.
Sobrang bilis.
Tapos,
bilis about naman dun sa export, alam mo yung akala mo mamapatay mo na, pero biglang magkakaroon ng Firaga armor. Tapos meron pang biglang nag-cooldown yung immortality. Parang it's almost paulit-ulit. Lalo na kung hindi nyo siya kagad mapaburst down. And something then for late game, syempre, yung fire streak, tuloy-tuloy yan. Pagka nahatak kayo, kumbaga ang katatakutan mo na lang dito for the side of Brain Esports is their team fight potential going into the late game. But, if Omega could be able to dismantle dito, kumbaga mapagwatak-watak nila dito, makapick off sila ng isa, then mag-split po sila. Kumbaga, wag lang silang pumunta doon sa posisyon na magkakaroon ng magandang implosion si Lusty and mag-layer yung mga skills dito ng Brain Esports.
I guess ang sinasabi mo dito, Rob, is that Omega, kailangan lang nila respetuhin na ang taas pa rin ng team fight capability ng Brent.
Oo. At hindi rin imposible na umabot tayo into more than like a 15-minute. Kasi nga, kayang i-hold They do have this Farsa.
Oo. So, hindi pa tapos.
Hindi pa.
Hanggat
Definitely
walang
hindi pa.
nababasag na base, hindi pa tapos. Pero Omega, umuunti-unti na. Sky, Guardian, Helmet, para sa Barats ni Curtizy. Best item para dyan. Nakukuha na rin siya dito ng Azuri Blade. Meanwhile, looking at the Esmeralda ni Toshi, Calamity River and going Holy Crystal ata to?
Holy Crystal na agad. So, basically here on the side of, they already had their own items. Medyo, in terms of damage potential, Omega already had it, pero they need to be disciplined dito. Kumbaga, hindi naman na makalabas yung Bren Just play. Play strategically. Kunin natin, kaya natin kunin dito ang uncontested na Lord unless manakaw ni Curtizy.
Oo nga parang ang ginagawa ngayon ng Brent dito, ini-split na lang nila yung mapa no? By the way, Rob Luna, may nakita din akong extra item kay Black Dizzy dito, Deadly Blade.
Yes, he actually needs
para
it.
Sa Barats.
Kay Barats and kay Toshi.
Oo. Requirement no?
Totoo yun. Kailangan din talaga nila yun. Kasi, hindi mo naman aasahan lagi na si Few will be the one to cancel the regeneration dito. Correct. Yung mga makukulat na hero from Omega. Pero I think Omega dito, they realize that bakit tayo bakit natin i-risk na baka mas lead? If we could be able to pick off muna before we actually take the Lord.
Kaya naman no? Pitas na lang muna. Disiplina para dito sa Omega. Brent Esports waiting patiently sa gagawin ng Omega. Rob, yung sinabi mo kanina na counter puncher, mukhang nasa Brent Esports ito ngayon. Naghihintay sila na pumasok ang Omega. Walang setup na magaganap para kay Lusty this time.
Definitely. This is a very team effort. At pinaka naging nagustuhan ko rito for Omega is nag-acting, gumana rito si Haze. If Haze is having a good game, definitely Omega, the whole team is having a good game.
At mukhang confident nga si Haze dito, popping the meteor shower. Rebo, ito yung sinasabi mong spam capability.
Yes.
Ng Brent Esports.
I think it's either Omega waiting for a pick-off or baka hinintay na lang nila yung 12-minute mark para at least Luminous Lord yung makuha nila dito.
Pero Carl Dizzy, nag-hello si Toshi dito sa dati niyang ka-teammate. Kaya nila makuha si Carl. Naamo siya ni Haji.
I think nag-cancel yung TP niya doon. It's all because of the glowing one.
Hello, old teammate!
Hello talaga dahil this is also an indicator na pwede na nilang kunin ang Lord. That's 25 seconds on the death timer ni Carl DC. That's more than enough para kunin itong unang-unang Lord ng laro.
Omega tilting their old comrade. Napakainit naman nung pitas na yun. Parang tinarget talaga ni Toshi. Parang hindi iniwan ni Toshi nung nakita niya si Carl DC dun sa baba. Usually, yung iba parang iwan mo na yan. Link yan.
Kasi may flinch point voice naman yan.
Abulin nyo. Parang ganun yung naging command
And I think they already know na gagawin yun ni Carl DC. That's one of their winning condition na pag-reactin nila papunta doon kay Carl. Pero hindi kasama doon yung mamatay siya. Pero now, dahil nagawa dito ng Omega na ma-pick off si Carl DC doing the side lane pushes,
Lord.
nakuha nila ng libre ang Lord.
At ngayon, papasok na ang Lord dito. Max range na pwede airstrike, pero max range yan ang meteor shower dito. Si Pew ay tumatakbo na. Sabog mula dito kay Ripo, pero walang tatamaan actually, kundi yung Lord lang. Meanwhile, sabi ng Omega dito na lang tayo sa bottom lane. Pwede naman natin siyang i-push lang habang si Lasty nagsiset up ng implosion, pero kinagat, nilabas. Ay, naku po, flicker out para kay Curtisi. At godlike na si KDA Machine. At si Toshi, ako rin, Kuya Manjin, mainit din. Tatlo ang nawala sa Bren Esports. At pwede na nating sabihin na tabla ang score para dito sa Grand Finals. Omega taking game number 2.
Wow, Omega coming back on game number 2. That was a very convincing win para sa kanila. Grabe yung disiplina na ginawa nila doon. Sobrang timing din kasi parang ang ginawa doon ni Hayes, pagka feather airstrike ni Few, that's the time siya nag-meteor shower at hindi na na-maximize ni Few kasi siya na yung tinatamaan. Now, all throughout, yung pwesto din ng the rest of the Omega, hindi sila masyadong nagdidikit. And gaya nga sabi mo, implosion, dinitonas well coming from Bren Esports.